Hello, this is Jo from Maths Tutor Me. Today we're doing algebra and we're doing algebraic fractions. Today we are going to look at addition and subtraction of algebraic fractions. We'll leave the multiplying and dividing for another day. So in order to add and subtract algebraic fractions, you must have a common denominator. Common denominator just means we need the same number to be on the bottom of our fractions. If they are the same, which in this case they are, all you have to do is add the tops together. So for this first question, since the bottom numbers are already the same, the denominator stays the same, so it stays as 7, and I and I add the top. 4x plus x is 5x. Okay, always check to see if there's any simplifying that can be done, but that one is as good as it's going to get, so let's move on to the next one. 3x over 5 plus x over 4. Okay, this time we have different numbers on the bottom. So before we can add anything, we have to have a common denominator. So I'm going to need to do some fiddling here. With a 5 and a 4 on the bottom, what we want to do is find the lowest common denominator. Now, often all you need to do is just multiply those numbers together, which will work for this one. 5 times 4 is 20. Sometimes the number that is common to both of them is much smaller though, which will make things easier if you can find a smaller number. Okay, so if 20 is the lowest number, that is a times table, that's another way to think about it. So thinking of my 5 times tables and my 4 times tables, 20 is the smallest number that is in both of them. Okay, the 5 here in my first fraction, I have changed that to be a 20. So I have multiplied this fraction, I have to multiply this fraction by 4. I've multiplied the bottom already to make 20. I have to multiply the top as well. So 3x times 4 is 12. 3 4s are 12, and the x just sits afterwards. Now in this fraction, it can be helpful if I write a little 1 here. I had a 4 on the bottom. I have multiplied that 4 by the 5, so I have to multiply the top by 5 as well. 5 times 1 is 5x. Okay, so as a bit of a tip, what we have just done, we have multiplied the denominators together. Okay, we multiplied those, and then I have multiplied the 3x with the 4 to get this number, and the 5 with the 1x to get this number. Okay, so that's what I have just done. Now that I have a common denominator, it's not going to change. So my answer is going to have 20 as the denominator. All I have to do now is add the numerators or the tops together. 12x plus 5x is 17x. Check to see, can I divide those by 2 or 3 or something to make them smaller? No, not going to happen, so that is the final answer. Let's have a look at question 3. I have 2m over 3 minus 3m over 8. Well, if we stick to what we did last time, to get the common denominator, I need to multiply those numbers together. 3 times 8 is 24. So I need 2 fractions over here with a 24 on the bottom. This time I'm subtracting, so I have the subtract sign in the middle. Then to work out what goes on the top, I'm going to multiply the 2m by the 8. 2 times 8 is 16m. And then the 3m I have to multiply by the 3. 3 times 3 is 9m. Okay, now I can subtract. 16 minus 9 is 7m over 24. And no more simplifying, so that's finished. Question 4. Now we have letters on the bottom. Don't let that worry you. All we need to do is multiply the bottoms together, but let's just multiply the numbers, okay? We don't need to multiply the x's together. That will give us x squared and it will just make things more complicated. So because they are both x's there, I can just multiply the 3 and 4. So in other words, the x is already common, so I don't need to have any more of them. So 3 times 4 is 12x for the denominator for both fractions. Now, for the first fraction, the 1 has to be multiplied by the 3. Don't use the x, just the 3. 1 times 3 is 3. The 2 has to be multiplied by the 4. Maybe I should go around there a bit further, to the 4. 2 times 4 is 8. Alright, now that my denominators are the same, I can add the tops together. 3 plus 8 is 11 over 12x. Alright, question 5. Similar thing again, we have pronumerals on the bottom this time. So let's multiply just the numbers because the a is already common. 11 times 9 is 99. That's quite a big denominator. 99a and a minus sign and another fraction with a 99a on the denominator. Now let's work out the numerators. 7 times by 9 is 63, and then the 4 times by the 11 is 44. Okay, so now we can subtract the numerators. 63 minus 44, 44, 54, nearly 64, so it's 19 over 99a. And that one's not going to simplify either. If you're ever not sure if your answer is going to simplify further, you can get your calculator. You can type in just the number part. So 19 over 99 equals, and the calculator will simplify it for you if you're not too comfortable doing that yourself. All right, let's have a look on the next page. Okay, on the next page we have some questions for you to practice. When you've learnt a new skill, it's really important that you practice it, otherwise you will just forget it. So here is 4 questions, just 4 questions. If you pause the video, have a try. They're just like the ones that we have just done. Try each question, restart the video, and we'll go through the answers. Question 1. So remember, we have to have a common denominator. The first question already has 5 for both the denominators. So we are able to go straight to the answer. 5 is going to be the denominator for the answer, and I just need to subtract across the top. 3x minus x, well, that's a 1x, so 3 minus 1 is 2x, and that's it for that one. Let's look at question 2. 6x over 7 minus x over 2. Okay, the denominators. To get them the same, we can multiply those two numbers together. 7 times 2 is 14. Minus sign in between, and 14. Okay, now we need to work out what goes on the top of each fraction. We had a 6x for the first fraction. I need to multiply that with the 2. 6 times 2 is 12x. The second fraction, I have an x. I need to multiply that with the 7. 7 times x is 7x. Okay, now I can subtract across the top. 12x minus 7x. 12 minus 7 is 5x over 14. All right, it's done. Boy, we're getting through these quickly today. Question 3. Let's get a common denominator. So 9 times 7 is 63. 63 for the second one as well. Now multiply 5k times 7. 5 times 7 is 56k. And for the second fraction, we want to multiply the 5k with the 9. 5 nines are 45. It always helps to be good at your times tables. You have a calculator if you need it, but it does make life easier if you can do them quickly in your head. So now I can subtract across the top. 56 minus 45 is 11k over the 63. And one more to go. This time the pronumerals are on the bottom. 5h and 6h. So let's multiply the numbers together. 5 times 6 is 30. 30h on the bottom. And the second fraction, 30h. And let's work out the top. 3 multiplies with 6. 3 6s are 18. Just the numbers, remember, not the letters. And multiply the 1 with the 5. 1 times 5 is 5. We're adding, so let's add the numerators. 18 plus 5 is 23 over 30h. And that's it. Okay, so hopefully that's making sense. Sometimes people are really scared of fractions. They can be really scary for some people, but hopefully they're not too bad and they're not too scary anymore. So find lots of fractions to add and subtract. Practice as much as you can. And join me next time and we will be multiplying and dividing fractions. Catch you later. Bye.